I always, initially talk about our defensive line. I think it's pretty good with seniors there. Had a chance to see them in action. We've gone through a few training camp practices, so pretty excited about where we are right now. Of course, we hadn't played a game, and everybody's real excited this time of the year. But again, I've seen progress. We've seen progress daily. Excited about this next week. We still need rest for practice, of course, to get ready for Murray State. Murray State will be here before you know it. We've gone through training camp. We haven't had a whole lot of injuries, major injuries, a few bumps and bruises, which have, limited us a little bit on what we can do, some of the things we like to do, which has limited that a little bit. But we're getting guys back, and we should be okay eventually. Your question. Well, that's the thing about it when you have a press conference in a team meeting room for things that we kind of go over with our team. But, we talk a lot about takeaways. And in order to have that mindset, you have to always. And just a reminder as the guys walk through the door to the team meeting. All defensive guys don't walk in unless they hit it. We would like to see them punching the ball every play during this season, too. Probably talk a little bit more about football right now instead of tweeting. And what's my take on it is, when they say we can do things, we do it. Kind of simple as that. Any way that you can communicate with what's going on, back and forth communication is a good thing. So we're using it just like everyone else is. They're important. From my first day on the job, talked about that, on what we have to be able to do in the Chicago area. And, we have a lot of population, and what I've seen a lot of good football players, and they're listening to us. We've gotten a great response. And you should. When you're the flagship university of a state, you should get a good response from, the most heavily, populated area in their state. We have over 200,000 alumni in the Chicago area, so it has to be an area where we do well, and I think we will. The same thing goes for, St. Louis. St. Louis is an easy drive, a little over 2 hours. In the past, has been an area where we've had a lot of players. We don't have a lot of players on our roster right now from the St. Louis area, and we need to change that, and we're making progress with that. Huge. I mean, we're committed to the running game. In training camp, that's all you can really say. We're committed to the running game. I like what we have up front. Austin Smith, Christian DeLauro, Joe Spencer, leading our offensive line. And staff, we have a commitment to it. We have an excellent tailback in Keyshawn Bond. Kendrick Foster has looked good in our preseason drills. So you start with that. Of course, the passing game will help it a little bit, but again, we're going to be committed to it, and in order for us to have success, we need to get it done. It is a concern. To talk about the depth is a concern. Yeah, absolutely. But that, we have to, and in a program, any program, I mean, it's about developing depth. And we have young players on our roster right now. Every rep they get, they need. And, right now, coming in, you're not expecting a lot of those players to come in and play early, but it's about, first off, figuring out what to do, who to block. There's a lot that goes on with the offensive line. Getting stronger, living in the weight room We've only had them since this summer. So we'll continue to develop them as far as pointing out a young offensive lineman that I think will play for us right away. It's a little early to say that.
There was obviously a lot of enthusiasm in the second move, but how much do you want to concentrate kind of on just that message of stability and buying in, and how they responded to that? Was there any, cynicism that you detected?
No, not at all. I think when you've gone through as many different changes as they have, you want to get you want the program to be on stable ground. I signed a long-term contract. Uh, we're here. Uh, it's not like we're talking about that an awful lot, but I think guys they're smart enough to kind of see where we're headed. And I just don't think that's been an issue at all. You can't live in the past on whatever has happened to you. And for our guys, I know they just completely bought into what we're doing right now. And you get thrown curveballs in life. As an offense, you have a perfect play drawn up against a standard defense, and they all out blitz you. You have to be able to adjust and move on. Our players have adjusted and move on. It's simple as that. Well, it's definitely brought up. If we're an athlete looking to make a decision on a college, we want to go someplace where you think things are, on certain ground. And for us, you look at the University of Illinois. We have a new chancellor. We have a new athletic director, new coaching staff. We're all starting this at the same time, building this foundation. I'm looking from the outside. I would want to be a part of that. As I'm talking to the recruits, it's selfishly, this is my first year as a college head football coach. This would be my first class bringing in a group. You hope guys would see our vision and want to get on board with that, and we've gotten positive results.
You talked about your running game from the standpoint of the receivers. You had one that's coming back from Justin Hardy. What's your other receivers look like?
Well, it's good to get Justin Hardy back. Justin Hardy has great speed. So no one works harder than him. He's a big receiver, too. He's got good size. He can block. Very pleased with what he will do for us this year and what he's done in training camp. Malik Turner, another, we have receivers with size that can catch the football, like the way they competed last night, and every day we see a little bit more. So we don't have a whole lot of household names right now at the receiving position, but we feel for what we want to do, we're going to be in pretty good shape.
Returning service in the offensive line, two new slots that need to be filled. How is that shaping up from a run blocking perspective in terms of the candidates stepping into those roles?
Nick Algretti, no one changed their body, I would say, as much as he did during the summer. Ask him to get down, get his body fat down, more lean weight, all of that he did. Gabe Megason is a good football player. So we have two young players that haven't played a lot of football, but everybody has a starting point. We think in time we should have a solid offensive line with that group. They've come along the way we would like them to. I've been told that a few times. Yes. Well, first off, just we believe in a tight end and being a part of the offense. And to get Tyler White back, he is coming along, and we have some other good candidates there. It's not the tight end position, fullback. We have a fullback position now. Nate Eckert and Austin Roberts, both, from moving, from the defensive side, have filled in well there. So, again, we would like to have a multiple attack offensively in multiple personnel groupings, but having tight end be a base part of that, and every once in a while, you ask Keyshawn Vaughn, it's not all bad to have a fullback in front of you. when you consider yourself a tailback, and we'll have that.
Peanut Tillman was here. What you guys talk about, like his retirement, transition to catches acting and Sharknado 4 and stuff?
What did we talk about? I assume you have friends. Does he have friends?
A couple.
Couple. Yeah. We all have a couple of friends. So what do you talk about when you see a friend, first off? I mean, Charles is a lifetime friend. His family. So there's a lot of that. He brought 2 of his children down, so it just wasn't. But he's a football guy too. And when you retire, what do? I mean, you want to, be around football a little bit and come down and see it from a different perspective. So it's just good to get him, around watching our practice. I wasn't here in an official capacity, anything. And so he just observed. And I wanted him to observe a little bit. And, when you've been in football that long, you have opinions about football, always. So to answer your question, it was good to get him down as much as anything as a supporter of Illini football. That's what he was here for.
But have you seen, you've seen so many guys retire, and you've seen somebody who's really kind of hit the ground running in retirement, getting really active, doing all these things as much as Keenan has.
Most of them I've seen, yes, that's what they've done. And they've, transitioned well. And it's not like, most of the players I've been around, it's not like, tomorrow I've retired, I'm going to retire, what I do now. No, you're transitioning long before you do that, and you have a plan. A part of your retiring is transitioning into this plan. Most of the guys I've been around, that's how they've done it. And whether it's through TV, I think Charles is going to do a little TV or whatever, or just being one of us. I'm talking just a typical fan. When you've been 2-a-days and practicing all your life, it's kind of good to, maybe a few of them at the Olympics. When I retire, that's one of the first things I'm going to do is go to the Olympics and see all of those type things. So that's what they're doing.
The players pretty wide-eyed, like you spoke to them, and asked them on
Charles Tillman carries a little bit of weight around this area, yes. And when you see him, first off, you say, man, first comment, most common contact, man, I didn't know he was that big, big guy, big corner. That can do it all. But any time you have a chance to talk to a guy that's played at that level, you want to, and our players are sponges, and you want to ask him questions on how he did it, how he prepared, daily, just not punching the ball out on, on Sundays. It's, how do you prepare to play at the best?
Talk about the cover 3 defense, how you think these guys are kind of adjusting to that. Are there some tweaks that you got to do? Like college games in terms of the approach?
I just think that's the wrong description, though. The cover 2 defense. We're not a cover 2 defense, and we've been portrayed that way forever. We run the Tampa 2 defense. We run a coverage, a 2D coverage at times, but we're not about that. Our success is not based on cover 2. We're a gap control, single high, 8-man front, man coverage team is what we are. And those are the things that we're going to have to be able to do. We're not relying on, to get pressure, we don't rely on all-out blitzes every down. We rely on a 4-man rush. So that's kind of more of a description on who we are. Occasionally, you will see that. And right now, it's been a few days when I know it was one day we only played that for the most part to get a little bit of work on it. But that's a coverage that you use in long yardage situations only, pretty much.
What's the transition look like for those guys, especially the linebackers and defensive backs? Did some different things last year. Obviously, fair defense line, a lot of similar things. What's the transition for you guys?
Transition has gone well. We had young players. So when you're a young player, you don't have it, everything all set in stone on what you believe and what you've been doing for a long period of time. Hardy Nickerson coming in, familiar with us, our system. So it's gone in well for our linebackers. When I say gone in well, we need the rest of the practices. And there are more, every rep we need, but they're adjusting. So I'll say the same thing about our safeties. And then safety-wise, we have Taylor Barton that's played a lot of ball. But for him, he has great football intelligence, knowledge. He picks up things really quick. So we feel like we're going to be able to do a lot of different things with him, but the adjustment, it makes sense. I've had players, we've had players similar to his talent level, that had a lot of success. And we've been able to do a lot of things just based on his football knowledge. Quite a bit. When you've been around, when you have a bunch of young players, they're looking to the coaches, but they're looking to the veterans to show them the way. And again, as a young player, when you ask him something, he knows the answer. He gets it. So very pleased. Probably haven't talked enough about Taylor because he just kind of goes about, doing his job the right way.
Coach, a lot of freshmen coming in, not ready to play, a lot of them coming in
Yes.
with red shirts. Are there any guys that you think can contribute this year that stuck out?
I tell you, I think our freshmen are right where freshmen should be. Head isn't spinning as much, long ways to go, but we see potential in some of them. In my mind right now, I have a good idea of the ones that were redshirt, that aren't ready to play. Some are a little bit more advanced than others, but we don't have any of the freshmen on our top two groups right now and getting them ready to play the opening game, anything like that.
You have three kickers kind of battling for that job.
Yes. Chase McLaughlin has done a good job. And yesterday, I think he might have been. He's been perfect most days. So I like what he's done. Punting wise, we've been solid. So I think we'll eventually be okay there. The one area that we'll continue to, returner. We need somebody to really step up into that role and use that as a weapon.
Defensively, what's your front four stack up with Rodney?
Yep. Yes, it's a start. There's two of them. Chunky Clements, of course, good football player. Carroll Phillips, good football player. We have three guys that played a lot of ball around here, and that's why you're excited when you come in and you have those players. But Jamil President, transfer from Auburn, had a little nagging injury last week but came back out there last night, is a good football player also. We have a couple young players too. So, again, I think our defensive line overall as a group, we have more depth there than any other place.
Said it would be against renewing the Illinois Missouri game. How would that help you?
The Illinois, one more time? Missouri.
Rivalry?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out when I said that. I've been hit with that quite a bit. But as a general rule, I think, as you just look, we're all, if you're in the same area, I think it means something to the fans to, those rivalries that, really mean something when you're this close. So we have a rivalry, of course, with Northwestern up north. And, of course, Missouri, we're competing for the same guys. We talked about how we want to, of course, get more and more into the St. Louis recruiting area. So any teams that are close around here, we would love to play, but it's a lot more than that. Again, I'm a football coach talking, about a schedule that's going to happen 5 years down the road, but we'd love to.
How much did it help having the first 3 games this season here at home?
An awful lot. When you start, of course, everybody would love to play every game at home. And for us getting started, students just getting back, can't wait for that. It helps a lot, and not only that, the first 4 out of 5 here. And it's about getting momentum early on. And for us, if we could get some momentum early on and have our, we want to have a home field advantage, simple as that. In order for us to make this, for the rebirth of our program, football-wise, we need to be able to play good ball at home.
School starting back up, Coach. You got to review some things you're going to do with the staff and the students that are engaged, except around campus.
Yes, we do. Like me to go over those?
That'd be great.
Yeah, we have some things in mind, but it's kind of one day at a time. That's coming. Right now, it's just full speed ahead with the football part.
Coach, we're
What I didn't know before, I've just seen him in different situations, more situations now. You know, going through spring ball, Wes Lunt, I think, makes great decisions. He can make all of the throws. When I say great decision, he's smart, full control of the offense. Our players believe in him, you know, first person. He starts it all. And as a coach, I just think, you know, like I showed the end of the Nebraska game to the team one day. I mean, that's what you know, when you need to make a play, he's going to do it. So we could talk on him for a while. I just kind of buy into him as our leader, and we buy into him leading our team.
And how is his arm rate? You've been around a lot of
Oh, that's hard, you know. He has a good arm. As far as how he compares, you know, I don't know how to really do that. The older I get, you know, I can kind of focus on an area about now. What other quarterbacks did I have in the past anyway? Who were they? Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to remember back my point, all right? I just know that we like Wes Lunt. And you would hit Rex right away with a big smile on your face. For the record, I love Rex Grossman being Rex was definitely our quarterback.
How about Kyle Orton?
Love Kyle Orton, you know. And then I'm going to get off of the quarterbacks, but both of those guys, I love coaching them. We love them leading our team. And, again, nothing but great memories.
The offense that you have in mind is probably designed to take some of the pressure off the West in the last couple of years. Sort of show.
Again, I don't know about the last couple of years, you know, and I just know this is what we feel like we need to do to play winning ball with our offense, putting Wes in these situations. You know, being a new team, of course, we're not going to go into everything that we're going to do, but the offense you're going to see, that's what we think. We would never put Wes in a position. We didn't think he could have success, but all these things we're going to do with him, we feel like he can handle all of it.
Freshman class, obviously committing to the previous coaching staff. How did you get all those freshmen to buy into it together?
I mean, it's not getting them to buy in. I assume if you showed up on scholarship, it's no, you have to. Simple as that. And everybody else. This is how we're going to do things. It's not a democracy. You know, hey, is this okay with y'all? This is what we're doing. Buy in. And that's what everyone has done. So, again, haven't had any issues like that of trying to convince people, or people trying to tell us what we're going to do. I like this better. And none of that. The guys are just eager. And even though I wasn't the head coach and our staff didn't recruit them, they're our guys, and we're happy with all of them.
When you first got here, you watched a lot of film of last year's team. Are there any guys that you've seen just going into camp that you feel have taken a big leap from where they were last year?
I did not watch a lot on purpose. Didn't want to, we wanted to come in. We tell the guys, hey, it's a new day, fresh. I watched very little, to be truthful. We did. I mentioned the Nebraska game. Watched a little of that, but now we didn't want to form any opinions based on what they did back then. And now having spring ball, we start forming those opinions. Then to get guys in position for training camp, and now it's a distant memory really back there.
But talking about that, from spring ball to now, has there been anyone that's made maybe a big stride that surprised you?
Good. No, not surprised. And I don't think you make just huge. We're making improvement. And I'm giving you general answers, but that's what it is. Keep in mind, it's not like we've had big scrimmages and, we're sacking West, with our defensive ends or cheap shot and key shot. We're not doing all that type stuff. So we're getting our guys in positions, what we're doing, and we're evaluating them. We keep our players from a 8-ish to 10-ish. So you have a chance to find out an awful lot about our team. That's what we're doing. And how we really play game day, you got to get to game day and see. That's why it's important to have those, ideal world, those games early here at home. When just we good question. We would like to just show them that first off we're headed in the right direction. You know, we want to have a great year, but I think what guys on the outside want to see how we run things. You know, now have more time to see us in every situation, to come get to know us. Me as a head coach, our coaches, our players, to see how we run practices, how we do everything. That's what I want. Potential prospects for us to see right now. They'll have a chance now, instead of wondering what we're like, they can really know. And what we've pushed as much as anything to get players here on campus. Right up until last night, we had prospects here for them to get a chance to see firsthand how we do things.
Without having somebody, you don't have much to show right now yet because you haven't had much time. Are you opening doors because of, you think you're opening doors because of your NFL past?
No, open doors because I think that's what you should do, period. Why would we not open doors? It's not like...
No, I mean, when you go out, are you getting doors open because
Oh.
because of your background?
Oh, I think, yeah. I think probably so. We all have a history. We all have a history, and you can research it at any time. And, you know, with me being around this Chicago area, I would like to think a few people remember me. So that has gotten us into a few more homes. Yes. And we are an open book. You have an idea of what you thought we were and how we did things. Now you get a chance to know, you know, up close and personal.
When you talk about not watching film from last year, and you mentioned that a few times since you have, was that something that you did when you say you got to Tampa? You purposefully didn't watch any film from the previous years?
Now when I say any, I watch some, but not a lot to really. And if we watched it, it's like you're watching athletes right now, just looking at ability. I mean, where you want to put the guys. You don't have to watch an awful lot to know. I mean, I saw the Nebraska game. Saw enough on West really right then. I've seen some more, but didn't really need to, all right? Who he was, we should see then. You can't base much on the past. You got to go on what you're seeing right now. So that's pretty much it. You didn't have to look at every one of Smoot's plays from last year. You see the same play every snap. So whether it's Tampa, that's how we've done it everywhere.
Last question. Hardy Nickerson, Jr. Some people have kind of said that he could be like the severe defensive Brian Urlacher was for the Bears. Could you see him kind of having that role?
Now just think about that statement now.
Yeah, it's pretty high expectations.
Yeah, I'd never even go down that road to. It's not fair to many people. Brian Urlacher is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So for me, I think I'm good at personnel, but to start, I would never start comparing anybody to that. Or for Hardy Nickerson Jr., or he's not really junior, right, Ken? Hardy Nickerson, younger Hardy Nickerson, to even compare him to our Hardy Nickerson defensive coordinator. That's saying an awful lot. You don't have to. Hardy Nickerson, our player here, is a good football player. And what he's done, keep in mind, training camp was the first time we started working with him. And he has been like a veteran here forever. Had made any mistakes. He's making all the defensive calls. Had an excellent camp. Just goes by doing his job every day. And we should get good play from him. But to say that, you know, he's a Hall of Famer right now, you know, we're going to hold up on all of our guys for that.
How different about Urlacher that potentially would be compared to what it would have been now?
Different, you know. To start off, when I say we're not going to compare him, but it's good to have a guy. Our defense is based on, it's just like West on the offensive side of the ball. You need a guy that can handle a lot of different things. Hardy Nickerson's a Cal grad. He's smart. He gets it. And just think about being around that defense your entire life, talking it 24/7 for this longer period of time. I mean, Hardy has been training camps for us, listening and meetings, so that has to help an awful lot, and it has. So again, that's stimulated a little bit. our movement in the defense, but you can only stimulate it so much, as we move forward with it without actual reps right now, and we're getting it. And again, last night was a good step. It's one thing to be on the practice field, the grass out there, but when you go in the stadium and you turn on the lights, you find out things you don't know. From watching, you find out a little bit watching old video, but to me, I found out more in my past when you go your home turf and it feels like a game atmosphere. Guys do things that they haven't done out there on the field, and that's what we saw a little bit last night.